High as hell when I'm in the clouds. That's that space shit. Elevated, I'm hella faded.
Hey y'all, this is gonna be another pick a card for March, what is it, 19th, 2019. It's actually gonna be a general forecast for the upcoming month of April. I haven't done a general forecast in a while, so I figured I would mix it in with the pick a cards. Thank you everyone who is liking, subscribing, and commenting on all my stuff. I can't tell you how wonderful it is to talk to you all, and it means so much. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that. All right, it's going to go in this order. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, so those are your picks. So whichever one you're kind of drawn to the most, you're going to want to go with that. If you're drawn to more than one, go ahead and watch all of them. All right, there might be, some things that kind of jump out in each pile for you. Not everything is going to resonate in every pile for everyone. It's, it's a collective reading, so only take what resonates with you. All right, I am going to be going to Colorado, so I'm not sure about my next video, when it's going to be. Hopefully within the next week. I'm going to have to use my sister's setup for everything, but I'm going to try my best to get that up as soon as possible. All right, that's it. I think. I'm pretty sure. We're going to find out. All right, I'm going to be quiet for a little bit. Go ahead and pick whichever one resonates with you, and then I will see everyone at the pile that they picked. Bye. Okay, pile number 1. Oh, pile number 1. Okay. All right, you got, I don't mean to look like that. It might be a little bit of a roller coaster this month. What would be a good way to sugarcoat this? You're going to learn a lot. There's going to be a lot of growth this month. Okay, huge stepping stones. Okay. It's not going to be horrible. All right. The Emperor. I love the Emperor. I really do. He looks kind of grumpy. He looks kind of, and on my Patreon, this was actually in my weekly reading for tier 3. So I was kind of explaining him in there. He's a little stoic. He's a little, he just kind of sits there, with that face on. But the reason he's like that is because he's done everything. Like, to be an emperor, to be an empress, you honestly have to go through every suit in the entire tarot to get there, So they've been through a lot. And it's not been a quick journey either, because they had to go through that earth energy of the pentacles. So it really has taken a while to get to this energy, which means experience. If you're having to go through all that stuff, you're, at the very least, you're going to have experience. I'm not trying to, like, I don't want to sugarcoat anything, but he's a little rough around the edges. He's I don't want to say like a dictator, but he can have that cold, sometimes presence, just like very like an authority, just can be kind of cutting in a way. It's just very powerful. He's not like that with his Empress, of course. It's completely different energy, but in an overall generalized atmosphere, the Emperor would be passionate, a huge authority figure. He would be somebody that, you kind of, he gives the orders. He's not taking them. He's giving them to people. It's going to be exciting. It's definitely not, I'm really drawn to the red. Red is passion, excitement. So this isn't going to be, I think, a month that it's like you're kind of just sitting around and wondering, and it's not going to be that kind of a learning experience. This is going to be, I think, mostly from action, mostly from things happening. Okay, so things are going to happen that are going to kind of open your eyes to things. I think that you're really going to get a lot of, I think experience would be a really good word for it. You're going to get a lot of experience in a lot of different areas. We might need to work on, I want to say standing up for yourself, but you might be working on being more of a authority, maybe in your house, in your job. You're really going to be, testing your boundaries with decisions, doing things the way you want to do them, speaking your truth, living authentically. These are all things that you're going to not just be contemplating about, like these are things that you're actually going to be executing. So, for some people it's not easy. For some people it is easy. Just depends where you are in your journey. But I have a good idea that for a lot of people, it's definitely going to be a month of, seeing personal power come to play. I really feel like a lot of people who maybe don't live in that Emperor energy, maybe they live in a little bit of a softer energy, I think that they're really going to be stepping up this month and kind of proving themselves in that way. Some of you might need to work on balance. Like I said, they went through all the court cards, all the elements, everything to get to where they are. So they've had to learn how to balance all these aspects of themselves, the emotional, the spiritual, the physical, the mental. These are all things that they had to learn to balance. And I think for a lot of people, it's going to be like this balancing act. So many things are happening around them, but they really need to keep that internal peace so they can kind of balance it all again. Because a lot's going to be going on. And again, it's going to be different forever and what those things are, but I think the general theme for a lot of these will be, in an emperor sense, will be passions and being honest, learning, perfecting too. I think a lot of you have maybe been doing this, so maybe you're just kind of really perfecting and getting comfortable with it. When you first start, being assertive, it can be kind of awkward if you're not used to doing that. After you do it more and more, it becomes a little bit easier. So some of you might be there right now where it's you're just kind of like testing the waters of, your power in a way. So you're going to be building upon that. I'm drawn to his armor, and I'm usually not drawn to that in this card ever. I don't know if I've ever been drawn to that, honestly, but I'm being drawn to that now, so that means maybe some of you are having to put on a bit of a harder exterior. Maybe you're having to really toughen up a bit. For some of you, it's the opposite. You need to be a little bit more vulnerable. Maybe some of you are acting like you're covered in armor. You know, we need to be able to display vulnerability. We have a lot of strength in vulnerability. And once you start to really, you know, kind of dive into that healing and that energy, and it's really an incredible thing. So if you haven't been working on vulnerability, if you feel like there might be an issue there, I suggest that you do some work with that. Guided meditations, binaural beats, whatever, affirmations, whatever you're comfortable doing, but I would definitely head in that direction for that. For those of you, though, that are trying to, you know, harness this Emperor energy and really become your own person, be able to speak your own truth, I feel like that the armor is a way of saying you'll be all right. You know, this is something that you slowly put on armor. It's not like you're just automatically protected. No, you have to go and put this stuff on. So you need to slowly build up this confidence in yourself. You know, and start with things that are like that you're passionate about. You know, because it's easier to speak your truth when you're really passionate about something. You know, start with that if you're really having a hard time. Find something that is really important to you, and let it go. It gets easier as you do it. That's Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is they call him Wounded Warrior. A lot of readers will. He has he's been through the ringer. He's beaten and bruised and worn down and used, and just, I mean, they have just been through everything, hell and back, you know, and they're still standing. Barely standing. See him? He's like kind of having to like lean on his staff a little bit because he's all beaten to hell, right? Some of you either are coming out of this energy or you're going into it. It's going to be happening. So I'm not sure which one you are, but defensive. Very defensive. So I'm not sure. I think for some, of you, you've been through something and you're kind of defensive now that either something might happen again like that, or you're just on edge because so much has gone on and you're just kind of waiting for something else. So it's almost like an expectancy to have to go through crap. Like something's going to happen, you just know it, and you're going to have to fight again. For those of you who feel that way, this is a 9, so that means it's pretty much going into a 10, which is the end of a cycle completely and the rebirth of a new thing. Just hang in there, okay? Hang in there. It'll get better. Usually by this, you know, it's coming up again. So it's really, once you come back to that ace, you know, if you complete the cycle, you know, you're going to get the reward there. So it's, some of you have been through a lot. March might not have, even February might not have been, you know, what you were hoping this year might start out being. But that doesn't mean that this year isn't going to be really great. I think a lot of people are kind of figuring themselves out more. I think they're really looking back on the things they've gone through and maybe are realizing, you know, how much that has helped them grow, how much they have blossomed because of the things they have been through. Going back to that Emperor energy, it's experience. You know, you don't grow usually when you're not doing anything. there's no growth there. There's stagnancy. You're not learning. You're not moving. Wands are about movement. So these things that you're going through, you know, it's a lot. It's movement. It's acting. It's just a constant. It's right before the Ten of Wands is that guy with like the big bushless sticks, and he's like carrying them, and he's having a real hard time, and he just looks like it's a huge burden, and it's really like a big weight on his shoulders. Okay, this is right before that. This is like leading up into that. Like you have all this stuff that happened. You're worried more stuff is going to happen, so you're piling all that on, and that's how you go into this Ten of Wands energy, is because you had all this stuff happen. Now you're pretty sure other shit's going to happen too, because that's your luck, right? That's what brings that Ten of Wands energy in. But the thing about that is it's a 10, so it's ending. Full circle, done with. Okay, so it's the last stretch is always the crappiest, you know, and it's hard to hear that, but it should be really good because, and what if, you know, look if you were like a 4, you know, if there's a lot to do still for you if you're in a 4, but if you're a 9, like you're almost done with this shit. So really, just kind of buckle down, look at everything you've dealt with in your life as a blessing, as some sort of lesson, something you were able to grow from and experience things from. Don't look at these as things that, you know, the universe was picking on you, or, you know, things never go your way. And, you know, just try to leave the sob stories alone. Like, I don't know what else to say. I know when I'm brutally honest, you know, I seem to get a lot more thumbs downs, but I'm be honest, shit isn't always easy. Okay, and that's usually when we learn the most. One of my favorite things, you know, I had a guy tell me, amazing psychic. His name was Joy, and he told me, he's like, you need to learn to love the pain. And that truly changed my whole outlook on everything. You know, when I get into these 9s, you know, these 9s and 10s can be pretty rough in the tarot, you know, because it's right before new growth, new action, new opportunities from the Knights and the Pages that come in. So it gets to be kind of rough when you're dealing with that. But if you look at it a certain way, it takes a lot of the ickiness out. Like, it really does. If you kind of go into it looking at a situation in a more, I don't want to say positive, because this isn't about lying to ourselves and being positive all the time. That's not what this is. This is, and I mean, it's not even being realistic. It's just being, I think, hopeful. You know, things might be shitty, but you know what? Things aren't always shitty. That's how it works. That's life. It's the wheel. It's always moving. Things might be shitty now, but the wheel will turn, right? And you'll learn. You'll know things. And that's really the beauty about this pain that you have is it's all growth. Growth is not easy. Do you remember when you were like little? When you were littler and you would start getting your new teeth in. Do you remember that pain? That's what I felt like. It's that feeling where that tooth is growing in and it's new growth and it's great for you. It's wonderful. You're getting these new teeth, but it hurts. You know, I don't know if anyone can remember that far back, but I remember that. I remember sitting on my stairs actually and like holding my face because my teeth hurt because they were growing in, and being like so upset, like, why are these teeth having to do this, you know? But it was ultimately so I had good teeth, you know, to eat things, obviously. So I kind of look at it like that. Like, these are growing pains, but they're things that are really going to be just so helpful for you later on. It's going to be amazing. So it's really going to be worth everything that's going on. We'll continue on with the good news. 5 of water, 5 of cups, and 5 of cups, and 5 of cups, 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 5 of It's not like a super happy card. Again, there's no bad cards in the tarot. There's not. You know, it's why I don't read reversals. It's why I don't, it's just, and it's not that reversals always mean bad. It's just they usually mean kind of the opposite. Five of Cups is like when you have an idea in your head of how something's going to work out, and then it doesn't. And it sucks, right? Yeah. That's that's the Five of Cups. Sounds fun, right? Yeah. No, it's not. There's it's not. There's a really, and this is probably the lesson itself. You can't have in your mind a certain outcome that you're only set on. Okay? We seem to think that we know what's best for us, and we really don't. There's something bigger at work here. There's something bigger, kind of guiding us and leading us. At least that's, what I think. So to have, some kind of idea in your head that something has to play out exactly like this, I mean, you're kind of setting yourself up for disappointment because you're creating an expectation. And it's really not good to create expectations. It's just not. You don't need to. Kind of take things as they come and then take them for what they are when they're there. This isn't, really the card. I know this is the lesson. And I'm trying to tell you this will be your lesson, one of the lessons you're learning in April. Okay, so when you learn it, I want you to be like, oh yeah, Caitlin said I was going to. Okay, and I want you to be on the lookout for it because, that's what tarot is good for, is you can catch these things and these lessons before and you can recognize them. That's why I love tarot. It's, I'll be able to, like, what do I need to work on? What do I need to learn? What do I need? And they're tools for me so I can actually go into something. So if something happens to me, I can be like, oh, this is that lesson that was coming. And I can go from there and learn from it instead of having my whole life disrupted and being, crying for a week and, oh, everything's shitty. No, I can be like, oh, this is the shit that was coming up. I know about it, so this is how I'm going to handle it. That's what you need to do here. Five of Cups energy is really, let me see if I can find it. It's hard to show, and it's like that a lot with these, the Doreen Virtue. They're beautiful, but they just don't give as much information, I feel, as my regular tarot. And it might just be because I'm so used to using this one. Come on. I'll find it. There it is. Okay. So, did you see he was so focused on these right here? Okay, so focused on these, he's not even paying attention to what he has anymore. Okay, so grateful. You need to be grateful, first of all. Like, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, you need to be thanking whoever you feel like you need to be thanking that you're here, that you're learning, and you're making the best out of things. Okay, that's going to help you a lot in the month of April. When things don't turn out our way, it's easy to see that they're not turning out our way because we can see it. Sometimes we don't always see the great things that haven't happened yet. We don't even know they're coming because we can't see them. All right, so when or if something seems to go south in April for what you were expecting anyway, don't look at it like that, okay? You doesn't mean you're not going to get what you want. It just means that the way it's packaged is going to be a little bit different, okay? It doesn't mean that all your hopes are dashed and things won't work out and now you're SOL and it's just shitty. Everything's just really shitty and you want to give up, right? No, okay? No, there's no reason to give up because there's still other stuff working on. There's still other stuff coming. Okay, sometimes the universe has to do that to make you get the idea that you seem to have planted into your head out of there. So it can go, oh, you think that's what's going to happen, huh? Let me show you that it's not. So you stop thinking about it. Because the more you think about how things are going to happen, if it's not exactly how the universe is planning on it happening, it's not going to happen. It's going to make things take longer. So we can't go into anything with an expectation. You're wasting your own time. I'm telling you, you are wasting your own time by having expectations. Just, if you have to, do affirmations that you trust the universe, you divine will, whatever will be, whatever it is you have to say to yourself to get these ideas out of your head of how this thing has to play out, okay? Because it's just gonna waste your time. There's no need for it. You have so much still left, and there's still so much of a possibility for things to happen if you let them by keeping the right mindset. You can't head into this, oh, it didn't work out how I wanted it, so I'm sad. And no, it didn't work out how you wanted it because it's not supposed to. Okay? Stop thinking about how it's going to happen. Just do the work you need to do. And however it's going to happen will eventually catch up to you. You don't need to be doing this. You're creating more work for yourself. Just let it happen how it's going to happen. And I probably be better anyway. Like, it'll probably be more incredible than you could have ever even imagined it. But we do, and I stress it, and I really do talk about being grateful a lot. It's the one thing that I learned, along, my journey that has been just probably the most important thing ever was being grateful. It has the power to change so much. Even a bad situation, even something that it's like just seems super shitty, if you have, an attitude of gratitude for the lessons, for the experience, for, things that are going on behind the scenes that you're not even aware of, you can change your entire perspective and attitude on a situation. You can go from heartbroken to stronger. It doesn't take the pain away, but it makes the pain worthwhile, they keep saying it, hold on. They wanted me to look at the water and that it's moving, it's flowing. Whatever is happening or will happen, you need to really be aware that the wheel is always turning. It's not going to stop turning, no matter how crappy things seem, no matter how much time might stop. The wheel is still moving, okay? That's just what I keep hearing. It's moving, it's constantly moving. Her destiny, I don't know. I'm just saying what I hear. Sometimes it makes no sense, but I've learned that if I just say this stuff, people are like, oh, that means something to me. I have no idea. I just repeat what I hear. All right, so everything that's going on is going to be because it has to. There's really no way around it, only through it. But once it happens, I really feel like whatever this is, it's going to be almost like a trigger for a lot of other things. But what's stopping it is your idea to have it happen a certain way. Do not get stuck on an outcome, on a person, on a place, on a thing, on how things should work, on how things are going to go. Do not get stuck on it. Be open. Do affirmations where you're open to new, exciting people. You are looking forward to new growth. You are looking forward to new relationships, new friends, new partners, new whatever you need to, say to yourself, that's what you need to be doing. Okay? If the universe wants to take something away from you, you're thankful for everything new coming in. Okay? This is going to really, for a lot of you, this might make or break a lot of what your journey is for a while. Is how you're, and this is I think it's a huge, I don't want to say test, but I think it's a huge, kind of like a test to see how you handle these things, to see how you can, drop these illusions that you have and kind of trust the universe. I feel a lot of people aren't trusting that there's a higher plan here. Even if they think they might, there's some kind of block there. There's some kind of block saying this might not happen, this might not work. So we need to figure out what that is. We need to figure out why you're feeling like that. And it might just be because you have this idea in your head on how it's going to happen, and that's how you know it's going to happen. And maybe things have changed. Maybe circumstances have changed. Maybe that scenario won't work anymore. We need to stop planning. We need to stop planning so much, okay? We make plans and God laughs at us. There's no reason to make plans. There's not. Other than, self-growth and stuff, yeah, I get it. But when it comes to, like, our futures, like, down to how everything should have to happen, no. You need to leave that to just divine will. Okay, and that takes away so much stress. All right, Ten of Air. Ten of Air is Ten of Swords, which is the card that has the guy laying on the ground dead with all the swords stuffed in his back. Yeah, it's another super cheerful card for you guys. But Ten of Swords, even though it looks really grim and like crappy, is actually a really good card. It's the end of a difficult or hard situation. It's tough times being done. Maybe you were stuck in some kind of karmic cycle and it's closed. It's completely done and it's over with. So that's wonderful. And I do have this feeling that it goes back to this idea that this is going to trigger this. Okay. So once this happens and you kind of go through the motions, and now that you're able to see kind of what the lesson will be, just being able to release control over things, I think you're going to slide a lot smoother into this Ten of Swords energy. We just really need to, since they're swords, we need to be aware of ideas, belief systems, thought patterns, those kind of things that are going to kind of pop up into our head along with this Five of Cups that is appearing here. There's going to be a lot of emotions. There's going to be a lot of ego. There's going to be a lot of trying to convince yourself for a lack of self-worth or self-love. And we really need to be going the opposite. When you see that stuff happening, have this video be that trigger that, oh, I see what's going on. So now we're going to increase self-love 100% because we're not going to get sucked into this Five of Cups ungrateful energy. There are lessons, we're growing, there's growth. That means there's movement. It means the wheel is moving. It means I'm going to be through with this shit soon and I'm beyond to bigger and better things. Okay, that is what we need to have in mind. All right, so when you start seeing these things happen, let that trigger that inside your mind that, oh, okay, the shit is finally going down. I need to love myself more. Work on that. That's the only thing you need to work on. Not what anybody else is doing. Work on loving yourself. Work on working on yourself. I know everyone's really feeling the retrograde. It's all I keep hearing. It's really hit a lot of people really hard. People saying they have trouble talking. I have trouble talking half the time when it's not retrograde, but whatever. Just keep a light heart. We really have to keep a light heart. Just because something doesn't happen how you want it to doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means it's taking a different road. Okay? So keep that in mind. You know, if you are able to, they showed me holding onto a rope too tight and getting a rope burn. Okay, so if you're holding onto a rope and it's like someone's like pulling on it and you hold too hard, it's going to burn you. It's going to cut your hands up, right? But when you release, you don't get that. You need to just release, okay? Anytime you feel yourself going and trying to do that, let go. Stop messing with it. Just leave it alone. All right? That's going to allow the universe to kind of come in and do what needs to be done. You know, half the time we think ourselves into a scenario that we don't need to be into, and then, you know, we got to go in and it has to clear itself all out. We're creating work for ourselves in a way. So we really need to look at the value in the lessons. Lead you to your spiritual growth. Beautiful card. And couldn't be more fitting for pile number 1. You guys are really going to be having a lot of spiritual growth, I think. And that's a wonderful thing. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, but it is incredibly important in the self-development of you, you know, as a spiritual being. So I would try to look at everything as grateful as possible. Okay, just, and again, it's not a matter of being optimistic or cheerful about it or happy. Like, you don't have to be happy about it at all. You can be upset, cry. Oh my God, I thought it was going to happen this way. What's going to happen? Well, go ahead, cry, get it out, scream, whatever you got to do. Make yourself feel better. It's fine. But after that, you know, kind of embrace the change. Figure, okay, it can still work like this. Not a big deal, right? Right. Okay, so that's going to be really important for you guys. All right, don't let this scare you. April is going to be an incredible month. When you have months like this where it's really a lot of spiritual growth, soon after that is when you have a lot of physical growth. You know, things usually will work and happen and manifest, you know, more in a 5D place before they can actually come through and you'll see it in your actual life. So don't let it get you down if things are shifting and moving. It's actually really, really great news, I think, for a lot of you who are kind of been stuck in this stuck environment. I feel like a lot of people feel like they're just kind of waiting for something to happen. Again, it's that picture I get of my head, and I've had this so often of the horse in a starting gate, and there's just so much, like, I can feel like just when that thing flies open, you're ready to go, you know, but there are other things that have to happen, other lessons to be learned still, things are moving around, you know, so you're going to be stuck there a little bit longer learning what you need to learn, okay? But there will come a day when that gate's going to open. It will. It just might not open in the way that you thought it would, but it will open, and that's what's important, okay? Doesn't matter how it opens, just that it does, because that's going to give you that freedom that you're looking for. All right? Hope this was able to help you, and I hope you have a really wonderful day. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and commenting on all my stuff. I love reading it. If you don't do that, you should. You should also follow me, Divine Destiny 1111 on Instagram. Be my friend there. I think that's it. Yeah, thank you for everyone who donates and has bought readings from me. Go to the website. Thank you. Just thank you so much. All right. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone. Oh. Hi, pile number 2. Pile number 2 might need to go watch pile number 1. Sorry. Oh, pile number 2. Wow. All right, so if it makes you feel any better, pile number 1, probably the exact kind of month you're going to have. So you're not alone, right? And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if pile number 3 turns out the exact same, because for the collective, it seems to be working that way. Like, instead of a pick a card, I should just do like one pile of cards and be like, here's your reading. I don't know why I'm even, sometimes I'm like, why did I even do a pick a card for this? They're all the same damn thing. Okay, so if you didn't watch number 1, go ahead and watch number 1 after this. It'll probably resonate quite a bit. But movement is great. Okay, movement, you got Ace of Swords. That's a good card. All right, so we'll you know, it'll be all right. I probably got everyone like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? It's fine. Don't worry about it. I shouldn't even said anything. All right, 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is rapid movement. It's stuff going on all over the place. It's like organized chaos. You know, if anyone who's ever been a teacher, you probably know what that is, right? It's life in a classroom, organized chaos. These are things that go on around you, and it's kind of like there's so much going on around you. You just kind of like stand there, and it's just like you just can't even imagine everything's going on around you right now. That's this kind of energy. It's just like everything all over the place. Doesn't mean bad. Doesn't mean bad. You could have a lot of great things happening around you. Okay, so don't get into the energy of, oh, bad things are coming and they're going to happen. No, that's not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying that things are going to, there's going to be a lot going on. There's just, you know, you got a lot going on. That's fine. And feel people panicking, like, oh God, what's going to happen? It's fine. You're fine. I feel like for a lot of you, there's going to be a lot going on in your career, maybe in your work. Abundance, some kind of abundance. 8 is a wonderful symbol of abundance. So maybe some of you are changing jobs, maybe some of you being offered jobs or just starting out in them. Maybe you're finally getting the ball rolling on some kind of project you've been working on, or you've been working on starting a project that's maybe finally really moving along now. It's not done, but it's getting there. Yeah, just... Again, I'm like you have to go back, watch pile number 1. Like that 5 of Cups that I got in pile number 1. It was drawing me to the water, and it looks like the same damn water that was in that one too. Like, just from the scene, it looks like the same general vicinity and buildings and area. You know, and the message when they kind of pointed out the water feature to me was, you know, that things are always moving, you know, and sometimes when things are really like going on, you know, shit is really hitting the fan, that's when you're having the most movement. So it just seems, I think, from going from real stagnant to all of a sudden things happening, I think that gives the illusion that there's like, oh my God, it's so much. It's just movement, okay? So it might be overwhelming at first, but if you can change your point of view or perspective about it, that will slow it down a little bit, all right? I think what will happen for a lot of people is it's going to be something happens, okay, out apart from yourself, okay, maybe in some other area, and that acts like a tumbler in a lock, okay, and that creates the momentum to unlock this new thing that kind of can move into your life. And that is what this is. That's this coming in, okay? So it's not so much that it's going to be like so much overwhelm. It could be for some of you, a lot of stuff going on, but You know, it could just seem really overwhelming because it went from a place of stagnancy to shit's actually happening. Okay, so it could be that. So if you're able to kind of remember this and step back and be like, oh, this could just be that one thing that is finally moving along here. You know, for some of you, this is going to be something very big. It's going to be something important. Because I wouldn't keep hearing, you know, it's moving, it's always moving. I wouldn't be hearing that if it wasn't them being like, it's okay, everything will pass. Like, because that's, you know, like my team, that's like their go-to thing. Like, I know something's coming when they're like, but there's a lesson. It'll all work out. You know, things, when I start hearing that stuff, I'm like, okay, all right, it's on. You know, it's coming. So if you can kind of prepare yourself, you know, to be able to change your perception or your perspective, if you're able to kind of train yourself to see a more, again, I don't want to see positive. It's not about being positive. A more non-emotional point of view, I think, would be a really good, because you don't want to be overwhelming yourself. It's good to feel emotions about it. It's good to go back and, you know, to do that. Believe me, it's wonderful. But to get lost in them, we don't want to like have something happen and us just be an emotional mess. Like you want to be able to have something happen and you can stop and kind of decipher where you need to go from there. Okay? And then handle the emotions later when you have time to actually sit in them. Okay? But I know that when I start hearing, it'll be okay, things won't always be bad, the end is near, you know, the wheel is turning. Once I start hearing those things, once you know, I know right away something's going on. Okay, I wouldn't be getting this pre-pep talk for nothing. And it does help, you know, it really does. You know, if you know you have to kick it up in self-love, if you know you have to be more grateful, if you know you have to do these things before you really need to do them, you're saving yourself a lot of work, a lot of catch up. Okay, so learn to kind of decipher when you need to work on these things. I try to every day, you know, see how thankful I am in the morning, at night, whenever I can think about it. But, you know, sometimes I don't think even I say it enough. You know, there's times that I might not, even though I have my routines and my little rituals that I do, maybe I could increase my self-love even more. Maybe there's another way I can love myself even more. You know, by doing these things, you're kind of taking a lot of the perspective off things that are going on around you, and it takes the focus and puts it on what's going on internally. And that takes a lot of the power from outside of you away. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, that's why it's organized chaos. It's shit's going on, but it's handled. You know? Yeah. Again, there's no bad cards. No bad cards in the tarot. And that's not just like a tarot reader cop-out. Like, there's no bad cards. There really aren't. Like, it's all how you look at it. You know? I am somebody, I do think it's really important to do shadow work. Some of it can really suck. I get it. But, you know, and I think I had said with the last reading about, you know, learning to love the pain, that stuck with me. It's true. If you can learn to sit in it and not live in it, but sit in it and feel it and grow from it, there's no other experiences that will ever be that vivid or important. That's the best way to learn. It might be the hardest and the most painful, but I really do feel like a lot of times it's the best way to learn a lesson. You know, we don't sometimes learn lessons, you know, when things are cheerful and happy and when we would want to. You know, sometimes we learn things when they are abruptly pointed out to us. You know, pile number 1 had a lot to do with expectations. You know, if you're expecting something, if you're expecting something from someone, from a situation, from anything, you know, chances are you're going to get some situations that are going to help you not have so many expectations anymore. Okay, because that's the idea. You're here to learn, you're here to grow, and you really don't need to be, you know, expecting things. Okay, we need to be trusting things. A lot of us are in an area of our lives that really is requiring a lot of faith. I think a lot of blind faith, you know, and a lot of trusting that we're being led in the direction that we really need to go, ultimately, you know. And this in itself, I think, is, you know, kind of the lesson for a lot of people, because they have this want to control everything, you know. So we have to kind of get rid of that. We have to put a stop to the mental chatter that we have that is, you know, defeating us or beating us down a little bit. You know, the things that you say to yourself are important. So if you're like belittling yourself or, you know, just really ragging on yourself a lot, that's not helping. You know, for some of you who are used to feeling that way, it might feel good to say those things honestly, even if they're horrible things, because that's what you're used to. Okay, it's just a thought system. Like that's just how you know to talk to yourself. So it's comfortable. So therefore it feels good to talk, but it's not. It's hurting you. Okay, so it might be a little uncomfortable to turn around and really practice self-love and trust and faith and all that. It might be difficult at first, but we really need to be kicking it into that gear here and getting going. It's going to be really important how we speak to ourselves right now. Like super important. Especially in April too. Again, they're pointing out, you know, the light, everything's real dark, but you see the sun is coming up. They're pointing that out again. So I guess I'm telling you, it's their way of saying, you know, things will get dark, but there's always a sunrise. And I think this too might, for a lot of you, be like the final thing that's really going to help put that last sword in, as far as how we are talking to ourselves and thinking, the state of our minds, just mentally how strong we are, I think is going to be really worked on in April. Whatever endings there are, they're not endings. Even when it gets real quiet. I don't know why. It's like something's gonna happen and it's gonna make everything just like stop. I've only had that happen a couple times, that feeling. So I mean, and it always was from things that were like, so I don't I don't know what to tell you there. I don't. So either it's just going to be like a ultimate truth that you find, some kind of something is going to like really like open your eyes and shine like truth on something. Could be a way you think, could be a belief system, could be a thought pattern, could be things you're hearing. You know, illusions might be fading away. And that could have a lot to do with expectation if you do resonate with pile number 1. You know, if you had the illusion that something was going to happen a certain way and then it doesn't, it like disintegrates. Yeah, that's an end of illusion. The good thing about tens, though, is that it's so done, it's already moving into the next card. Okay, so it's already, and like the thing about swords, like they're very, I feel like they're noticeable. You know, like these aren't little tiny things that you might, you know, pass off as intuition or like no, these are things that you really, you notice them. Or you'll notice when they're gone. This may be something that you learn after it's gone. So it's going to be all this rushing energy, doing stuff, and then it's going to be like, boom, stop. Everything stops. Collaborate and listen. I don't know if anyone ever thought that. Stop, collaborate. I don't know. That's how my brain works. Okay, so lots of movement. It's going to stop. Things haven't stopped, though. Okay, it seems like it has. The Page of Swords is very free. He does things. He's learned to do things that suit him, that help him be free, help him be mentally clear. Okay, and he only can become that once this energy happens. Okay, so whatever this is, once it happens, you're going to be kicked into that Page of Swords energy, you know, and from there, it just picks up and picks up and picks up, because then it's the Knight of Swords, and that is the fastest knight in the whole damn deck. Like that is fast, like coming in hot. Okay. Ace of Air, Ace of Swords. Again, a lot more, another swords. So mental, there's going to be a lot of mental growth. A lot of mental growth. I feel like you're going to have a lot of truths come out. Like things that I feel like, and that might be what this is there's just going to be so many things that you were just so wrong about. Not only did they not end up working out like that, but like you can't believe that it happened that way. You know, like the Ace of Swords is, I don't know, to me it's not like the Ace of Pentacles or the Ace of Cups. That's just kind of like given. Like, here you go, look at this beautiful cup here. Look at this beautiful, you know, abundance that I'm just gifting to you. The Ace of Swords to me is also usually something that's either earned or learned, a truth, some kind of lesson, some kind of thought that happens. It's usually victorious. So, I mean, that's really great. You know, whatever it is, you're going to be victorious in it. And it's a beautiful new beginning. But it's usually not, in my experience, as easy of an ace to get than some of the other ones. You know, Ace of Wands would be taking action, having action, movement, doing something. This, I think, really is mental, a lot of it. So I think a lot of you maybe have been looking at a situation in a way that wasn't serving you, maybe in a way that wasn't even the case at all. You know, maybe you were thinking something about somebody and it turns out that's not even the way it is. Maybe you thought they felt a certain way and it's, you know, they actually really do like you. It's not, you know, what you thought, this horrible, you know, thing, because this shows success. So it's not something that is bad. Okay? It's just what you thought it was, it's not, which is good. Okay? In this scenario, it's good. It's just going to be, I think, overwhelming, which is why it's important to know ahead of time that's going to happen. Because, you know, if you're able to prepare for this stuff, it's a lot easier than to go, oh, it's the thing that was supposed to happen. I remember that. This is how I'm going to handle it. Okay? Okay, now I was told I have to go back to this one. Some of you are going to feel kind of alone. Almost like you're having to do this by yourself. Like there's really nobody who's going to be able to kind of help you with this thing that you're going through. And it's not that they wouldn't want to. It's not like that you're just, you know, that Bobby Vinton, Mr. Lonely song. I don't know if anyone likes, I love Bobby Vinton. I don't know if anyone likes Bobby Vinton, Mr. Lonely. Anyway, good song, look it up. It's not that you're that, in that energy. It's just, I feel like you wouldn't feel there's a way to explain it to anyone, or you wouldn't want to. Like maybe you wouldn't even want to take the time to have to, you know, clue anyone in as to what the hell's going on with you. So this might be something that you're kind of having to do on your own in a way. It's going to be even better. Okay, it might be harder from what you think, harder, but it ultimately is going to be for the greatest good. Okay, because it's going to help you be self-sufficient. You're going to have to give yourself self-love. You're going to have to focus on yourself. You're going to have to go in internally. You're going to be forced to. There's nothing you're going to do to get around this shit. You're going to have to do it. And they're putting you in situations that it's going to be like that. Okay, I don't want to say they, like, you know, it's, who knows? I don't know what side you're on, who you're working with. I don't know. It might be hard to get used to, especially if you resonate with pile number one. It might get hard for you to like kind of resonate with letting go. Like even if something is still turning out pretty favorably, obviously because it's that ace, it still might be hard for some of you just to let go the thought of it not being exactly what you thought it was going to be. You know, it could be like just overwhelming. Like nobody thought it was coming. But it works out. It's just to show you you can't have expectation. I don't know if anyone used to watch Mad TV, that they had a skit. It was like lowered expectations. Lowered expectations. That just came, I don't know. Don't have that low expectations. Don't do that. That just popped into my head. Anybody watch that show? All right. Whatever you find out, though, I really do think that once you're not clouded with self-pity, that things didn't work out, you know, how you, you know, envisioned it working out, it's really going to be a great new beginning. Okay, you have a 10 for an ending and you have an ace for a beginning. I mean, it doesn't get, and it's the same suit. That's wonderful. Like, that's such a good thing. Ego. All right. Again, this really good card for what's going on right now. Ego is going to be telling you to freak out, to panic, to, you know, have a nervous breakdown, to start hyperventilating and, oh God, it's not happening how I want it to. Oh no. Don't do it. Don't buy into it. Anything anymore that isn't good feeling to me, I don't spend time in it. And it's not because I'm, you know, like ignoring, I don't want to live in it. If there's something I need to work on, I take note of it and I work on it later when I'm able to sit down and actually feel into it. That's my process. I'm not gonna, you know, I'll worry about it later when I can. We need to stop, you know, reacting when things don't go exactly how we picture it. Okay, and that's what this is teaching us, ultimately. So we really need to not beat ourselves up, not start, you know, talking down on ourselves, save the negative self-hate, save it. We need to go the opposite direction. Love yourself. Start finding things you're wonderful about you. Just anything you can do just to get yourself pulled back up out of that and stay focused, stay optimistic. Just stay however you're feeling, you know, but don't live in low vibrational energies. It'll cost you time, you know, and there's no reason for it. Don't. Unless you're doing shadow work, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be living in those energies unless you're trying to heal from them. You know, I feel like a lot of you it's like twin flamey kind of stuff here. So if that's the case, anytime you have these fear-based, you know, thoughts that pop up, what they could be doing or how they feel that's not positive. This is ego. This is illusion. These are not things that are real. Okay, if it was real, it would feel nice. It would feel safe and warm and just beautiful. That is real. That is what real is. That's not, you know, keeping you in this mental entrapment and making you feel like shit all the time. That is not why you came here. Okay? It's not. Some of you who haven't totally lost your ego, it's coming off in April. Like something is going to knock it right off. Like like whatever it has been that you have been like holding on to, this last little story you have about yourself, almost, you know, what you were and what you are, and, you know, like, I don't know, maybe you were a player, hey, whatever, you know, but you have these ideas and stories in your head on what you still might be. And, you know, for some of you, it could be that. For some of you, it could be, you know, just not recognizing your power. You know, it can go the other way. It can be illusions that you're not good enough, illusions that, you know, things aren't going to work out the way, you know, you'd like them to. They may not happen exactly how you want them to, but they can still end up, you know, generally kind of like what you want, just not in that packaging, you know? don't cling to material things so much. I feel like when we do that, it's almost a really great way to ask to lose it. Almost when you try to hold on to material, earthly things too much, that's when you lose them. So it's not smart, I don't think, to, hold on to things in a desperate way. If something is yours, it's yours. You don't need to go, oh, is that still mine? It's yours. I don't, you know what I mean? So I keep feeling like somebody has like this need to like make sure something is theirs, like that they have something. I don't know. If it doesn't feel good, don't buy into it. Okay? Take yourself back to a place that makes you feel really good. That you feel warm, that you feel safe, that you feel comfortable. Where is it? Go there. Okay? It's not weakness, it's not, running away from things. It's running towards things, and that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be, running away, from things. Hold on. You need to feel what you're feeling to know where you should be going. Like, you have to. You have to feel certain things. Like, you're being pushed to feel certain things, almost so it pushes you to feel other certain things. Okay, so you're going to be pushed to feel certain things, but they're not necessarily things you should be feeling or want to be feeling. And because of that, that's going to push you to feeling something else, which is what you should be feeling. Okay, so I think maybe some people are being pushed into these emotions and feelings that they're feeling, so they know this isn't where I want to be. I want to be back over there where it's warm and it's fuzzy and it's nice and I feel safe. But it has to be a conscious choice almost. I get the feeling like you have to choose that. Like, the universe isn't going to choose that for you. You have to choose that, consciously choose that to live in. Like, even when you're faced with that, even when you're planted, your ass is picked up and plopped in a situation where you would live in this one energy, you're being taught to pick yourself up and move your ass back to where you feel good. Okay? That's what's going on. So wherever it is you're going to feel better is important to you. And it's where you should be. But you're going to be put in situations to show you that that's really where you want to be. Because you're obviously not sure. So the universe is going to do you a solid, and it's going to show you exactly how you really want to feel, whether you want to admit it or not. Thanks, universe. Right? It's nice like that, right? Ah, nature. Perfect. Perfect card. So go outside. Go for a walk. Climb a tree. Do something fun. Lay in the grass. I am going to Colorado, and I cannot wait. I don't care that it's cold as hell outside. I'm going to go out, and I'm going to look at stuff, and I love going there because I can go hiking. I can go in the mountains. Well, I can't obviously probably go too far in the mountains this time because it's going to be cold. A lot of snow. But I'm going to try to find like a sled somewhere, and I'm going to try to go sledding. I haven't been sledding since I was little. I'm going to do that, though. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, try to spend some time, sorry, in case you were wondering what I'm doing in Colorado. Probably sledding, maybe. Might go to IKEA. I don't know. You know. Woo! All right. Nature. It's important. Fresh air. Even just open your damn windows up. I know some people, if it's still snowy where you're at, just open your windows. Get some fresh air in the house. Hear some birds, you know, get some nature sounds going. Alexa, if you have an Alexa, you can listen to nature sounds on there. I mean, I know it's not like as good as going outside, but I mean, if you're in a situation where you're really stuck inside, it can help a little bit. We really need to be grounding. I'm usually always barefoot. Always. Like, I'll put shoes on usually if I have to go in a store or something, but typically I'm barefoot. I just like being barefoot. When we put our feet in the ground, it's probably, you probably know it's grounding, but it like connects us back, and it makes us almost like a reset. It's like pushing like a reset. You know, you become, what is that? Almost like alkaline, I guess, kind of neutral, like reset, I think is just a really good, for me, that's how I feel. I feel like I just feel good. I feel better. I think a lot of people forget that, you know, there's a lot of background noise before the internet came along, before Pandora, before, you know, Instagram Live. There was a lot of things you could listen to outside, like birds, you know, planes. I want to go somewhere where there's no planes, like where you don't hear anything. I would love that. I would love to go somewhere where you don't hear any sounds other than like nature. Because here it's like you always hear airplanes or trucks or something like that, you know. Anyway, you need to be able to go outside and listen. Listen to wind, listen to the leaves, listen to animals. It helps to, I just saw an ant. So usually when I see an ant, like one ant comes walking along, and it's weird, it happens all the time. It's almost like the universe saying in a nice way, you ain't shit to me. But I know it's not what it means, but it's kind of like, you know, the way they say it to me, like, you're not that, like, you're just an ant. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm seeing right now. So it really shows you that when you're outside, that there's something bigger, that you're really part of something bigger than yourself. And I think that's really humbling in a way, you know? And it's also really hopeful because it shows that there's something greater at play here, something a lot bigger than yourself, which to me is hopeful. I find that very hopeful. But go outside, seriously, or open your damn windows up. Do something. All right. I hope that was able to help somebody. All right. Yeah, I think that's about it for right now. I think that's all I have to say, right? Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. I hope everyone has a really good day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting and subscribing. I love it. I love to talk to everyone, and I love hearing how you resonate with these pick a cards, and I hope that April is really wonderful for you. All right? All right. Have a good day. Bye. All right. Okay, pile number 3. All right, good. So you seem to be a little bit different from piles 1 and 2. 1 and 2 kind of resonated for me in a lot of the ways. Maybe, we'll see. But from what I'm looking at, it's actually, I don't want to say nicer. Don't tell piles 1 and 2, but it's a little nicer. No, I'm kidding. Maybe it is a little bit more cheerful, okay? Doesn't mean it's better. Just a tad bit more cheerful. All right, we're going to start with the Queen of Pentacles. I love the Queen of Pentacles. She likes animals. She likes to be outside. She's very motherly. She's abundant. I love her. I like her a lot. She's earthy, sensual. She's kind. Fruitful. I feel like for a lot of you, April is going to be very abundant. It's going to be very, I don't want to say peaceful, but in a way I think it will be for a lot of you. It's going to be very peaceful. I think maybe what a lot of 1 and 2 are going through this next month, maybe that's what you guys had kind of done the month prior. Or the month before that even. I feel like maybe you guys are kind of settling into this energy after that kind of stuff. So if you watched 1 and 2, you know, this might be what you could be kind of going into. Is this steady manifestation of abundance, which is beautiful. You know, it's very it's like calming in a way. It's almost like there's no fear of lack. You just know that you're being provided for. Things are happening how they should. You're very in tune with everything going on around you. And I think it's an allowance. It's something that you've allowed yourself to do, to become. You know, there has to be a certain level of vulnerability and the ability to let go in situations to get to this. You really can't, you know, she holds, you know, the pentacle like that, but she's not holding it like for dear life. She's holding it. She's almost in reverence for it. It's, you know, she recognizes, you know, the importance of it, but it's not owning her. You know, she's able to still set it down nicely and go about her business. This isn't something that she's having to really grip onto. You know, the things in her life she has them until she doesn't have them, and then she has something new. You know, it's interchangeable. They're not, you know, grasping and holding on for dear life things anymore. And that's what that lesson in the 1 and 2 piles really was trying to get across, I think, is be grateful for what you have, okay? It may not always be what you have. You may not get what you think you want, but you're going to get exactly what you need, okay? We need to be able to stay detached from what we think everything should be, okay? And doing that, being able to, you know, pull yourself out of this expectancy and like, well, I should be getting this, universe. Pulling yourself out of that is actually what helps bring these abundances that are waiting for you to manifest. That's what's going to bring them in, because you're being like, you know what, you know better. I'm just going to step back and not do anything, you know. And that's really what allows this stuff to come in. It's just because you're like, fine, you know, like that Jesus Take the Wheel song, you know. Jesus take the wheel, okay? For some of you, a rabbit might be important. I don't know if you saw a rabbit or something to do with a rabbit. No idea. Look it up. Google it. I don't know. Just pointing it out. I was told to point it out. So there you go. Rabbits will be important. Rabbits are energetic. They're smart. Especially when it comes to surviving. You know, I think they're really able to gauge the energy around them very quickly and make very quick decisions. Rabbits are excellent at doing that. I believe I am a rabbit in Chinese. I'm a rabbit, I think. I'm pretty sure. You know, Queen of Pentacles has, if you see the mountains and stuff, she's had a long journey, you know, but you wouldn't know it by looking at her because she really has such a very fresh and clean and just very sweet disposition about her. She's just very, like, you wouldn't even know by looking at her the stuff she's been through, the things she has had to endure, because she doesn't carry herself like that. You know, she's a very strong, well-rounded woman. And, you know, everything that she has gone through, you know, in an earthly kind of way has built her up into what she is. So everything going on, or that has gone on, because I really do feel like for a lot of you that I'm talking to right now, this might be, you know, the result of, you know, past work, things that you've healed, things that you've really been working on internally, you know, and that has led you to this Queen of Pentacles. She's very caring. For some of you, your mother might play a huge role in your life somehow. I mean, other than, you know, being your damn mom. But, like, there's something, for some of you, that something happens with your mother. It's almost like she gives you a blessing, maybe. Somehow, like, she gives you a blessing. She gives you, or maybe the advice that you kind of needed to hear. It's like you were kind of, but then you maybe talked to her and it was like things changed. You know, you felt better about your decision because I think you already made up your mind, but I think your mom has something to do with it, with how you end up feeling. Like it helps. Something helps. I don't know. No idea. Let me know if that makes any sense. All right. I could have managed without this card. Five of Swords. Five of Swords. There's no bad cards. I know I say that, you know, but there are cards that I'm like, oh, fuck that card. This is one of them. Although, you know, see all the gray? Gray is wisdom. So, again, you get a lot of wisdom. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Things aren't that bad. Change your perception, change your point of view, changes your life. Keep saying it, right? It's true, I know. But it's hard to hear sometimes when you're in that energy, especially when someone's done you wrong. What people do to you, what people say, it's really a reflection of themselves. You know, people, this is like fuckery, like somebody's really just messing with your head. It's like a constant mind fuck kind of thing, you know. It's just, like, it'll be one way one time, and then it's like completely different. You're like, what the hell just happened? You know, and it's just, you can't take these things personally. You can't let them disrupt you, because I guarantee you it's not going to matter after a little bit. It's not even going to be an issue in your life no more. So let people, you know, continue on the course they're on. Let them learn the lessons they need to learn, and you keep doing you. You know, and this, you don't need to worry about what other people are saying or thinking or believing about you or your situation or what's going on, because it doesn't really matter. Okay, no matter how close they are to you, it won't matter. You know, you know, it almost looks like people have laid their swords down and kind of like stepped away. So it almost is like when people come by and they like dump all their shit on you. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in a good mood and you're walking around and like you meet somebody, and this happens to me all the time, like I'll meet somebody and like they'll tell me their whole, I don't even friggin' know them, they'll tell me their whole life story, you know, and it's like so sad and depressing, and I just, what do you say? You know, it's like, that's what this is. This is people coming in being like, here's all my problems, you can have them. Thanks. Like, you know, or, you know, just people saying ridiculous things, mean things. Like, all right, I could have done without knowing that, but thanks. You know, I'm going to tell you, people might turn their back on you. And it might just be because, you know, you're not being manipulated by them anymore. You know, they're starting to maybe, I feel like some of you might be dealing with a narcissist. Some of you might be dealing with people who, I'm trying to be really nice. People who are, I don't want to say toxic, but I'm going to say toxic. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just, that's just what they are, you know, and it's not, they're there for a certain reason, obviously, you know, to help hammer a lesson home, I think, in a lot of ways, but you don't deserve that. You know, we deserve people in our life that are going to treat us with respect. You know, if this is what we are, or King of Pentacles, whatever, if you're a guy, you know, we're not letting people do this. No. Fuck out of here. You got it twisted. You got me confused with somebody else. Nope. Kick rocks, right? Yeah. Okay, we don't have time for that. We don't, people who want to do this to us, no. Bye. You don't gotta tell them goodbye. Just stop talking. Walk. Just leave. I hear Sadie barking. My old dog's barking. She has to go to the bathroom. Alright, Page of Earth. Page of Earth is the Page of Pentacles. He is slower in molasses in January, but God, if he isn't a great guy. Just super slow. Takes forever to get where he's going, to do the things he needs to do. But when he gets there, he's going to have all the answers. He's, you know, he's the one who likes to study. He's the one who you'll see in a library. He's the one who's prepared, you know, a bit of a Boy Scout. You know, if he goes somewhere, he's gonna have what he needs to get the job done, because he's gonna have put in a lot of thought and a lot of time in that thought. He's the guy with the pentacle who's like standing, staring at it like Shakespeare, you know, admiring the pentacle. thinking about all the great things he's going to be. You know, he's slowly doing it, slowly moving in that direction, but is very hopeful and is very persistent. Page of Earth is just dependable. It's constant. It's one foot after the next, you know, just very methodical, and it's very planned, and he has a purpose, and he has everything will be very executed. So I think this, you know, helps a lot in a way that you're going to be surprised about. You know, I think once these ties are cut, I do think that's going to be the beginning. And I think that's why it's only a page of Pentacles, is because it won't be like right out the gate, bam, here's everything you want. But you'll definitely have a concrete picture of the way you need to progress within whatever it is you're trying to do. He's patient. So, which Queen of Pentacles is also very patient. So whether this is something you need to work on or it's something that you've learned, either way, it's something you're going to need to learn. Some of you may need to tweak your plans. You know, I think a lot of us need to get away from having these plans. So if things shift and things happen, you need to be able to kind of tweak them a little bit to fit the scenario a little bit better. The Page of Pentacles really, he's not about instant gratification. Okay, this is not that page. You know, the feel good in the moment page would probably be Page of Cups. You know, this is things might be tough now. There might be sleepless nights. There might be essays. There might be exams. There might be finals. There might be all these things going on, but it'll be worth it. Putting in the work will be worth it. You know, and that's what this energy is. This isn't, we're going to, you know, do the first thing that looks kind of nice. Like, this is, we have a plan. We know what we want, and we're going to stick with it, even if it's going to take a while. That's this energy. I do think for a lot of you, abundance is really starting to maybe trickle in. It might not be like huge at first. It might not be like really noticeable, but it's going to start kind of, oh, that's nice. Here's some extra money. Here's some extra this. Keep going if you're doing affirmations. Keep going if you're doing like your manifestations and that's what you're working on. Law of attraction, that kind of stuff. If that's what you're getting into. I feel like a lot of people are really getting involved in that heavily, you know. So if that's what you're doing, keep it up, because, you know, it might not be right away that you manifest these things, but if you keep with it and you keep in the direction where you need to go, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of, you know, when and how much you want it, honestly. You know, you have to stick with things that you want if you want to get anything back from them. It's not just, it doesn't just happen. You have to show that you want something. Show that you've earned it, that you deserve it. Renewal. Hold on one second, let my dog out. All right. Sorry, I had to put my dog outside. She's old. She's like 15, so she has to go to the bathroom. She has to go to the bathroom, or she'll like go in the house. Anyway. All right. Ended on Page of Pentacles. Anything else on that? Some of you are going right into one lesson into another. But they're not like pile 1 and 2 lessons. They're like, I think, lessons on how to do things, how to get things accomplished, and uh, manifesting. Like really learning how to manifest the things that you want. They might start showing up. That's great. Okay. Renewal. You know, when something is new, like you ever see like an old product in a store, but it says like new, that it's new, it's somehow new. It's like the same damn thing, but somehow it's new. Like that. Like it's still you're still going through something, but it's like a new you. It's like an upgraded version. So like a new level of you. And to do this, to actually make this jump, I think, into this new level, we really need to evaluate and kind of see where we've been, where we are, where we would like to go. And I think to have, kind of clear set boundaries of these things. We no longer can be living like this in between all of them. Okay, we need to have, this was past, this is what is, this is what my vision is for the future. Okay, this constant having to go in and out to recheck on, no, that's still the past, it's still there, it's the same damn thing it was before, it's there. Okay, we don't need to I just keep seeing that. I keep seeing it's going like this, and we need to have like almost clear compartments of area or time. It's like a filing. I'm see 3 separate, and one would be past, present, and I just see something keeps going like this, like running through all of them. The rabbit popped in my head again. I really hope that I hope the rabbit means something to somebody. Someone keeps going back to the past for something. Okay? And it's stopping them from seeing what things are now, right now, because they're going back. So they can't see, it's like an illusion, they can't see what's really going on right now, which is hurting them with their vision for the future. Okay? So there needs to be some sort of, I heard a bulkhead. A bulkhead. There needs to be a bulkhead. I don't know. Anybody in the Titanic stuff? No? I don't know. Surprises me. I can go on cruise ships. There needs to be some kind of a bulkhead or a barrier or some kind of something that helps you from like running back to something. Because whatever this something is that you're running back to, it's not helping. It's actually really screwing up what is going on now, the perception of it, and potentially what could be happening in the future. You need to be able to get a grip and a handle on what has happened in the past, come to terms with what is right now, understand what is going on right now. If it's hard to wrap your head around, just however you feel. Okay? You need to be very heart-based when you're thinking this. Okay? And that will help you with that last compartment. The reason I feel someone can't make their mind up is because they keep going back to things because they haven't learned yet. You haven't learned yet. But You know, it's like being thrown back into places that will push you where you need to go. It's like that. You're just going to have to learn. You know, and we do that by evaluating, by sitting down and having an honest discussion with ourselves on where we are and where we're going and what we've been doing, you know, what we've been thinking, what we've been saying. We really need to be super honest with ourselves as much as possible. And it's a process. You know, that's, I think, why this is a page, because we're not going to have that full King of Pentacles abundance manifestation power if we're still doing this, if we're still timeline jumping to the past and trying to, you know, come up with something based on something in fear. You know, what do you think you're going to have right now? What do you think you're going to manifest in the future if you're operating from something that stems from fear of the past? No kind of future. You know, we can't be going back to that constantly. What keeps drawing you back to it? Honestly. And what about that are you not getting right now? And be honest. And that'll help plan the future. Because it'll show you a better perspective of the direction you need to go in. It's hard to see, when you have like so much there. You know, when you're able to kind of hone in on exactly where you really want to be or where you want to go, it's easier to see the direction you need to take, the actions you need to take. You know, that's why you can't really, people want to start a business, but they have no idea what they want to sell. Well, things are going to be kind of tough then. You know, they want to be in a relationship, but they have no idea who they are. So they have no idea what kind of person would do well with them. You got to do the work. You got to figure out what's going on. If you have time to watch 1 and 2, I think the amount of swords that were in those readings, I think would be very important for you. I think a lot of this is mental. I think a lot of it is mental. You'll make the right decision. So it's not like you need to have a stress of, you know, oh my God, I got to get this right. You will. You know, it's just a process of learning and thinking about this stuff in a way that is progressive for you, not in a way that's going to keep you stuck somewhere that you don't need to be. So, enchantment. Enchantment. Somebody put a spell on you. I hope not. It's not good to do, you know, messing with somebody's free will. It's not. It never works out. Ever. Aw, there's a swan in here. You see it? It's pretty. I saw them at the pond I go to the other day. I don't know, this horse is like sneezing out light. Can you see that? It's like sneezing out sparkly light. I feel like that's, you know, kind of where you're headed. One of the last ones too, which was it, number 2? Had a very twin flamey kind of energy to it. Very beautiful. I don't know if some of you are near the northwest, maybe, like way that corner of the United States. But those kind of trees. Huh. So maybe some of you are traveling. Ooh, maybe you're going to Colorado. See you there, right? I feel like everything that is happening is kind of leading up to this magical thing that probably would be best described as that, as something that could only have been orchestrated by some sort of divine enchantment. You know, just I think that once we do this, once we do renewal, once we really refocus our energy and kind of stop doing the things that are pulling us back, okay, and we really don't have that, and we can get out of that gate, this is where we're headed. You know, this is what we're in for. And it's just a beautiful, very magical energy. It's very, very mellow, but it's almost not expectant and like, I expect to have this stuff, but almost expecting because you deserve it. You know, you've earned it. You know it's coming to you because you've put the work and the effort in. You know, and that's, it took enough time, right? Like it took long enough, but you stuck it out. You did it. You did the work. You know, you let go of the people you needed to let go of. You managed to, you know, stay anchored in that energy that is comforting and strong and just beautiful. You know, and if we're able to do that, you know, we'll get here. This is what we're heading towards. I really feel like you guys have a lot of beautiful things coming for this pile. And for piles 1 and 2, if you stuck around to watch 3, this is definitely, if you've been doing that work, if that's what's going on currently, then this is what's coming. So, congratulations. All right, I hope everyone has a super good day. I hope this was able to help somebody. Hopefully that rabbit meant something. If it did, let me know. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. I really love talking to everyone and, you know, hearing how it resonated with you, what you pick, you know, what your comments are and stuff like that. So it's really cool that you let me hear it. All right. I'll have all the timestamps and stuff in a little bit put up, and I'll get it uploaded. I think that's it. No, I feel like there's something else, and I can't remember. Oh no. Oh well, maybe I'll think of it and put it in the description box. Okay. All right. Bye.